Bless now, don't forget to rest now. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV, signing in. Weren't necessarily pitting today, but we were shaking our shins, we were shaking our hips, and we were bopping our head. Alright? We had a recommendation on the Patreon by Marcus Jones. He says, check out RX Bandits. He put me on to, what was that band? The Weekendans. And that was a very interesting listen. This is a nice new realm for me, a nice new space to experience great band music, great guitar rock music, but from a different perspective as to which I don't normally apply myself. RX Bandits and The Battle Begun was the record. 13 tracks, arguably 12 considering the intro was untitled, but it had musical merit, so I would argue it was a track in itself. You know, a showcase of vocal harmonization, which was very impressive, and a sign of things to come per se. This was a great record. This was a great record as far as the instrumental was concerned. This was a great record as far as the songwriting was concerned. Now, they weren't necessarily writing songs in pop song structure, so I like that. I do like pop song structure. I am a basic guy when it comes to it. But I wasn't turned off by the way these dudes were still putting this music together, because it still was well composed, well orchestrated, well structured. I don't know where to start as far as the instrumentation is concerned. The drummer was fantastic. The drummer was very tight. The guitar work was pristine. There was dual guitars harmonizing throughout the entirety of it, essentially. The amount of harmonization was fantastic. The bassist playing the bass frequency to a T, did everything a bassist needed to do. Very unique, off on their own tangent, noodling about. Vocalist, great melodies. Lyrically speaking, I didn't pick up on too much lyrical content. I assume somewhat of an abstract approach to things. Lyrically, I didn't really care too much about that, in all fairness. We had a keyboard that came in and out, and we had a little brass that came in and out. I call it the brass because I don't know one brass instrument from the other. That's just not my field. That's not my forte. Maybe I should learn one of these days. I think it was a trumpet, but you tell me. Alright? Every time them keys came in, every time that trumpet came in, if it was, that was a very special moment. These dudes played it to a T. Fantastic. As far as material's concerned, I'd argue probably about 45 minutes worth to 50 minutes worth of material on this record. Averaging at about 4 minutes a track, I would say. And wow, I bet they spent a lot of time in the studio recording this, because to get all of this material, all of this content, not lengthwise, but as far as how crammed and concentrated it all was, very special, very special. I bet sound engineer was sweating getting all of this covered. A lot of tempo changes, a lot of dynamic changes, a lot of harmonization that needed to be on T. Pristine, fantastic. Might have been a self-produced project for all I know. Who knows? We're going to find out in due time, but that being said, the production was good. It wasn't perfect. The production could have let the talent and skill of this band down a little bit. It was great, but it was not produced the way it could have been. It could have been a lot better. Vocals were quite quiet, which is okay if you wanted to listen to a guitar rock record, but the guitars weren't very bold, and I clocked onto that from track number 1, the music video. Well, track 2 to be literal, but the first real song on the record, the vocals were quite reeled back in the instrumentation, and I don't know whether that was a pro or a con. I feel like it disturbed me, because it's not what I tend to be used to. It's not what we as a general market tend to be used to, unless, you specify in more instrumental based music. If I was to rate the record, I'd give it a 6 for me. I'd give it an 8 for the general quality of this record. I don't want to allow my personal preferences and tastes take away the value and the investment that's been placed into this project. So that's my perspective, that's my opinion. I'm going to give it 2 ratings in regards to that. It's not necessarily something I would return back to. It's a bit technical, it's a bit frantic for some. I like something very straightforward, simplistic. I like simplicity. But with that being said, this was a great record. And on there, we're going to check out the records. With another video, we're going to have a look into the Wikipedia of And the Battle Begun. And we're going to have a little look into the background of this project, alright?